Hello and welcome again to part 2. In part 1, we began by having several segments of this summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. I ask you, if you've not yet listened to part 1, please go back and listen to part 1 so that you can connect and have the big picture of what we are summarizing in this book. We talked of very great things in that part 1, such as the main topic, the key themes. I also gave you the publication, the genre, and the writing style of James Clear. I also gave you a detailed bio of James Clear, what he does, and I also gave you several takeaways that you can pick from this book. Now, in this part 2, I want us to go straight to a comparison to Atomic Habits with other books on the same subject. I'll also talk of the reception and critical response, or the reviews of this book. What have people said about Atomic Habits? I'll also expound more on the target audience and intended readership of this book. I'll try to give you key tips that you can start implementing while you are reading this book, so that you do not lose the momentum, the synergy along the way, or maybe you don't take forever reading just one book. Remember, it is very common. It's a very common habit that when you start reading books, we end up not completing the book as we desired, or we take longer, or maybe we abandon the book all at once. So I'll give you some tips to give you your reading momentum and your synergy going on. I'll also give you strategic and specific examples and ways that you can start implementing the knowledge that you get from Atomic Habits in your real life, in your business, in your relationships, in your marriage, everything in your life. Atomic Habits can be a game changer. So I'll give you specific examples and ways that you can start implementing that. So without further ado, let's now go straight to comparison. This is coming right from vidanmeds.com, and I'm your host Daniel, and it is our work to bring you these summaries. So Atomic Habits is similar to other books on habit formation, and such books which can be compared to this one includes the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Who has written that book? I know that book is very common. So who has written the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? 1, 2, 3. Right, you got it. It was Stephen Covey. And we also have another book that is can be compared to this one, and that is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. The Power of Habit. So, however, Atomic Habits is unique in its focus. If you compare those two books that you've said, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and The Power of Habit, remember these are just some of the main ones. There are others. There are quite a number of books about habit formation. But if you compare these two, for example, in this summary, Atomic Habits is unique in its focus on the importance of systems and its use of the 4 laws of behavior change. In part 1, we talked of the 4 laws of behavior change that James Clear presents in this book. You need to go back and have a detailed listening of that. So Covey's book, the one that we said, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, focuses on developing good habits and character traits, while Charles' book, the one that we call The Power of Habit, focuses on how habits are formed and how to change them. Atomic Habits takes a more comprehensive approach, combining elements of those two books. Another key difference is that Atomic Habits is more focused on small, incremental changes. James argues that small changes can add up to big results over time, and that they are more sustainable than trying to make drastic changes all at once. Overall, Atomic Habits is well written and informative, and offers a unique perspective on habit formation that you will not find in any other book related to habit formation. It is a good choice for anyone who is serious about changing their habits and achieving their goals. Let me now go to the target audience and intended readership of this book. Who will this book appeal to? who will benefit from this book? And I believe everyone. So that is my first target audience. Everyone will find this book valuable, whether they want to improve their marriage, whether they want to improve their career, their profession, their business, their personal life, their physical life, their health, their diet. This book has tips and insights for anyone who is serious about changing any aspect of their life. But for the purposes of this summary, the target audience and intended readership by James Clear is anyone who wants to change their habits and achieve their goals. This includes people of all ages, backgrounds, and professions. The book is written in a clear and engaging style, making it accessible to all readers in all levels of life. Now, Clear himself has said that the book is intended for anyone who wants to be better. He believes that the principles of habit formation can be applied in all aspects of life, from personal development to professional success. But some specific groups of people who might find atomic habits particularly, as much as we've said is for everyone, but we have those particulars who must read this book. So particularly, James Clear wrote this book with these people in mind. They include students who are trying to improve their study habits. Studying among students is an habit that needs to be better for them to achieve the success and the goals that they need in their studies. Also, another group is professionals who are trying to become more productive, athletes who are trying to improve their performance, entrepreneurs who are trying to build a successful business, people who are trying to lose weight, get in shape, or eat healthier, people who are trying to quit smoking or other unhealthy habits, people who are trying to develop new positive habits such as reading more, exercising regularly, or meditating. Now, here is a quote from the book that sums up this intended readership. And I quote, "This book is for anyone who wants to be better. It doesn't matter if you are a student, a professional, an athlete, or just someone who wants to be healthier. The principles in this book can help you achieve your goals." So that was all about the target audience and intended readership. And we've said that this book is for everyone, including you in your area of life, in any area of life. So what is the reception or critical response to the book? How have people received this book? Have they positively accepted the book, or have they negatively criticized it? Remember, negative criticism does not always mean that something is bad. It is always good, especially for the producer or the author of the book, in this case, to make the changes. But we are different. We are human beings. We will always have different perspectives, and not everyone will always like what you have done or what you say. There will always be those people who criticize, and criticism is good. It is very good, whether positive or bad. But for the purposes of this book, we can say that Atomic Habits has had a widespread acclaim and positive reviews from both readers and critics. It has been praised for its practicality and a clear writing style and the ability to motivate and inspire readers. The book has also been lauded for its focus on small, incremental changes and its emphasis on systems over goals. Here are some of the excerpts of critical reviews of Atomic Habits, and I quote the first one, that is from Adam Grant, the author of Originals and Give and Take. We have the author of Originals. Now, he says that Atomic Habits is a must-read for anyone who wants to change their habits and achieve their goals. Clear's advice is practical, actionable, and backed by science. Another excerpt from Rubin, who is the author of The Happiness Project and Better Than Before. He said that Atomic Habits is a superb book that will help you understand how habits work and how to change them. Clear's writing is clear, engaging, and full of helpful insights. Another excerpt from Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. That one. So Atomic Habits, he said that Atomic Habits is the best book on habits that he has ever read. It is packed with practical advice that you can start using right away. So overall, I think that before I summarize on that, Atomic Habits has also been featured in numerous major publications such as the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Forbes. It has also been translated into over 30 languages and sold over 5 million copies worldwide. Overall, the reception of Atomic Habits has been overwhelmingly positive. The book is widely regarded as one of the best books on habit ever written, and it is highly recommended to anyone who is serious about changing their habits and achieving their goals. So after reading this book, what are your thoughts? Maybe you've read it, you just wanted to refresh yourself with this summary, but maybe what were your thoughts? What were your personal opinions and maybe your criticism about this book, whether positive or negative? You can let us know in the comment section, and we'll really appreciate that. So after reading this book personally, there are some thoughts that I also have about the book and the opinions. So I found that this book was very helpful and informative. The writing of James does a very great job in explaining how habits are formed and how we can change them. He also provides a lot of practical advice that readers can implement in their own lives. I especially liked the 4 laws of behavior change, which were, do you remember them? Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. These 4 laws can be applied to any habit, whether you are trying to build a new one or trying to break an old one. I also like the emphasis that James places on the importance of systems. He argues that the best way to achieve your goals is to focus on creating and sticking to a good system. This means breaking down your goals into smaller steps and creating habits that will help you achieve those steps. Personally, I highly recommend this book to anyone who wants to change their habits and achieve their full potential in their goals. Now, I want to give you a recommendation on some other books, similar books on the same topic as Atomic Habits. So I have a list of about 5 main books, but there are not only 5, there are many, but for this summary, I have 5 of them, which you can have after Atomic Habits, which are also related. And we begin with the 2 which we compared with. We had the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and we also had The Power of Habit by Charles. So The Power of Habit explores the science behind habits and how they can be changed. Charles explains how habits are formed and how they can be broken and how they can be used to achieve our goals. Other books include a book which is titled Tiny Habits. The subtitle is The Small Changes That Lead to Big Results by B.J. Fogg. Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. So this book focuses on the power of small habits to create lasting change. Fogg introduces the concept of tiny habits and provides a framework of creating and maintaining them. Now, we also had talked of the 7 Habits by Stephen, whereby in that book, Stephen outlines 7 principles that can help you achieve your goals and live a more meaningful life. We also have another book titled The Culture Code, subtitle The Secrets of Highly Successful Groups by Daniel Coyle. So this fascinating book explores the factors that contribute to the success of teams and organizations. Daniel identifies 3 key traits that are common among high-performing groups, which are safety, vulnerability, and purpose. So it's a book that you can also have a look into. The last book is Essentialism by Greg, and the subtitle is The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg. So this thought-provoking book challenges the notion of more is better and encourages readers to focus on what is truly essential in their lives. So Greg provides a framework of identifying and eliminating distractions, making space for what truly matters. Remember, it also ties down to what really matters is the habits that you really want. So let me summarize this book in one big main takeaway, the biggest takeaway from Atomic Habits that we can go home with. So the most significant, there are many, I gave you 5 in part 1, and I also said that those are not the only takeaways in the book. So those are the main ones that came out from the book after I found them, that is after reading the book. But which is this main one that maybe I can give from the book? What is this book all about? What is this thing that you can pick, the one thing that you can pick from this book? So the most significant takeaway from Atomic Habits is the impact, the significant, the profound impact of small habits. So that is my main takeaway, the significant or profound impact of small habits. James emphasizes that small, incremental changes consistently applied over time can lead to remarkable results far exceeding expectations. This principle, also known as the compound effect, we also have a title of our book, The Compound Effect, highlights the transformative power of seemingly insignificant actions. Now, just as compounding interest generates significant gains in financial investments, small habits accumulate and amplify over time, shaping our lives in ways we might not immediately recognize. For example, consider a simple act of walking 15 minutes each day. It might seem inconsequential, that is, this habit might seem, maybe you might not even feel as if you are doing something, but if you sustain that consistently over time, it can lead to significant improvements in your physical health, mental well-being, and the overall quality of your life. So Atomic Habits challenges the notion that significant change requires drastic overhauls and grand gestures. Instead, James advocates for a more sustainable approach, emphasizing the power of tiny changes. So by focusing on those small achievable habits, you can gradually transform your behavior, your belief, and ultimately your life. So from that takeaway and many takeaways, James provides numerous examples on how small habits have led to extraordinary outcomes of different figures in history, from athletes achieving their peak performance to individuals overcoming addiction. The compound effect of small habits is evident throughout the book. So that is one big main takeaway and a bit of the explanation of the main big takeaway. So if you will not pick anything else from the book, that one main takeaway can be your game changer. So that is one big main takeaway that I found, and I found it wise to share with you. Now, let me give you some specific examples and ways we can apply the lessons that we learn from Atomic Habits in real life. What can you start implementing today in your life and see those changes that you really desire? Number one, let me use now the four laws of behavior change. Make it obvious. Let me start with the first one. How can you make it obvious? For example, place workout clothes and shoes in plain sight. Those workout shoes, if you want to become consistent in your workout, don't hide those clothes and those shoes in your closet. Place them in plain sight where you can see them. They will always remind yourself to exercise. Number 2, put healthy snacks on the counter and move unhealthy foods out of sight. Remember, we are trying to make it obvious. Number 3, use a habit tracker to visualize your progress and stay motivated. So those are some of the specific, really simple examples or specific strategies that you can use to start making the habits that you want to have obvious. Now, if you go to rule number 2, that is the law number 2 of habit formation, how do you make it attractive? So what are some of the specific examples of how you can make an habit or something that you want to change to attractive? Associate desired habits with positive emotions. For example, listen to upbeat music while exercising. You want to exercise. For example, that is the habit that you want to pick. Have those earpods. Listen to upbeat music. Listen to music, something that excites you, something that gives you positive emotions. Number 2, reward yourself for completing desired habits. For example, watch an episode of your favorite show after completing a workout. Remember, you want to make something attractive. Whatever you want to change to, you want to make it very attractive. So you can watch an episode of your favorite show after completing a workout, or join a community or a group that supports your desired habits. For example, find a running friend or join a weight loss group. So those are specific examples that you can implement even from your house right now. Right? Now, when you go to law number 3, make it easy. What are some of the specific examples on how we can make something easy? We want to change our habits from maybe bad to good, or there are some habits that we want to drop. How can you make them easy? Reduce friction associated with desired habits. For example, pre-pack your gym bag for night before. You want to start your workouts. Remove those or reduce the friction that is associated with that. And how do that? We've said you pre-pack your gym bag, the bag that you use for going to the gym, the night before. Increase friction associated with undesired habits. How do that? Make your social media apps less accessible. You can hide them, make them less accessible. Another perfect example is do not always have those auto logins into your social medias. Always make it so hard to access. Every time if you want to access Facebook, for example, ensure that you remove that auto filling of your password or your username. Every time ensure that you input those that is the username and the password manually. In that way, you will be increasing the friction that is associated with that undesired result that you want to get rid of. Also, you can create a habit of stacking queue. For example, do 20 push-ups every time you brush your teeth. Do 20 push-ups every time you brush your teeth. Now, the last law of behavior change. How can you make it satisfying? Practical examples. Ensure that the desired habits provide immediate and satisfying rewards. For example, take a hot shower after workout. Make undesired habits less satisfying. How? For example, keep unhealthy snacks out of the house. Number 3, celebrate your success along the way. So those are the 3 practical things that you can do to make something satisfying. Now, there are some of the additional applications of atomic habits that you can have. Habit stacking: combine a new habit with an existing habit. For example, read a few pages of a book every time you wait for your coffee to brew. Read a few pages as you wait for a coffee to be ready. Now, pair an enjoyable activity with an undesired habit. For example, listen to a language learning podcast while you fold laundry. So we want to pair an enjoyable activity with undesired habit. For example, listen to a language learning podcast while you fold your laundry. You can shape your environment to support your desired habits. How? By keeping a water bottle on your desk to encourage hydration. You don't have to always go for a cup or a glass of water. Always carry yourself a bottle full of water, and let it always be your companion, like the way you go with your phone. Let it be so. And also, you can align your habits with your desired identity. For example, can you do this? If you want to be healthy, a healthy person, eat healthy foods and exercise regularly. Now, as I also wind up, so those were some of the specific examples. There are many others. So that was just a way of making you think on how you can start implementing the principles and the knowledge that you get from this book. I want to give you the tips to keep your reading momentum of the book going so that you don't lose it along the way. You get the new insights and inspiration from the book. Now, read the book actively. This means take notes, highlight important passages, and reflect on what you are learning. Not just read as if you are reading a novel. Underline, have an highlighter. Number 2, choose one of the key takeaways from each chapter. Focus on the things that you want to implement in your life. So as you read, be active. I want to pick this, I want to pick that. This is what I want to focus. In each chapter, there's a takeaway for you. Number 3, create a plan for how you will put what you have learned into practice. This might involve setting a specific goal, creating a new habit, or changing your environment. You said don't it be like a rote learning. Create a plan. This is what I've learned from this chapter. This is what I'll do. This is the habit that I want to change to. As you are reading, keep on thinking the habits that you want to drop, the habits that you want to create. So also track your progress. This will help you stay motivated and help you see how far you've come. You'll always feel motivated. You've read 50 pages, you will feel motivated and so on. Do not be afraid to slip up. Everyone makes mistakes, and the important thing is to learn from your mistakes and to get back on the track as quickly as possible. You can also use the book as a reference. Atomic Habits is a great source to consult whenever you are struggling to change a habit or achieve a goal. You can also join a community of people who are also trying to change their habits. There are many online and offline communities where you can connect with people who have the same journey or who have the same story like yours. Don't always be afraid to ask for help. If you are struggling to change a habit on your own, there are many people who can help you, such as coaches, therapists, and accountability partners. So that is the end of part 2 of this summary or synopsis of Atomic Habits. And as I said in part 1, I'll also leave a link of where you can buy the book. It will be a way of supporting us. We will get a small commission if you buy the book using that link. It is an Amazon affiliate link. You will not pay more by using that link. Now, in conclusion of this entire summary, both in part 1 and part 2, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this synopsis or this summary of Atomic Habits. And I would like to hear from you the part of the summary, whether in part 1 or part 2, that resonated with you the most, or maybe your thoughts on the book if you have read it already. Of the books that I've recommended, the 5 of them, which one will you pick next? Which one has resonated with you? Or which one have you read before? And what are some of the insights that you can help us or share with us and the rest of the community that is also listening to us? Either way, let us know by leaving a quick comment below. Maybe you might be listening to this one from your YouTube. Ensure that you like, subscribe, and comment. Leave that comment down there. If you are listening to it as a podcast, we ask you to please rate us, review us, and also share with a friend so that we can get these insights together. We join together, we learn together, and we grow together, and we evolve as better persons. So this was brought to you from vidanmeds.com. This is a company that focuses on helping you find your purpose in life, unleashing your potential, and living a meaningful life. One of the best ways that we do this is by helping you make good choices of the books that you read, because leaders are readers. You are a leader in your area of gifting, and it is our purpose, our duty, and our mandate to ensure that we help you make the right choices of the books that you want to read. So these 30-minute summaries, or maybe 1 hour, that is part 1 and part 2, gives you great insights of if you want to make that choice of buying this book or committing your time. Remember, time is precious. Committing that time to buying this book or reading this book, is it worth it? So these summaries that we bring to you from Vidan Meds really help you make the right choices. Make the right choices and save your time and your resources. So it is a work as Vidan Meds. That is a work to help you unleash your potential, discover your purpose, and live a meaningful life. So brought to you, I was Daniel, your host. And until next time, I want to wish you a good time and continue reading, continue evolving, and continue building yourself. Until next time, bye-bye for now.